Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner Podcast.
Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner Podcast. My name's Coach Scott. I'll be your host today. It is Monday, October 14th. Giving this one a go today. I don't know. We've been working on a lot of data recovery stuff and stuff like that. So I don't know if I have the Martinez Evans open with his lovely baritone voice. I know I can never make up for it myself. Maybe I can finagle it with some kind of audio trick or something. We're trying our best to kind of recover some files here. I'm going to talk about that towards the back end of this podcast. A lot going on this weekend, guys. I would say I got good news and bad news. I don't know. I'm going to start with the good because I want to save the bad kind of for the back. And even the bad, it's not so bad. I'm going to try to have a positive outlook on this. Sometimes things destroy your day and make you, get you really upset, angry. But sometimes you got to look on the bright side. It's taken me a few days actually to look on the bright side, but we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Team Ordinary, man, you guys are crushing it. You destroyed this weekend. Amazing. Just amazing. Sunday was the big day. Ironman Kona was that day. No Team Ordinary people. I don't know. No Team Ordinary people in Kona as far as I know. Maybe me next year. I got to earn that sucker. Anyway, we had Stu Wiener out in Boston doing the Boston Athletic Association half marathon, crushing that. A little over 2 hours, Stu. I know you're happy with the finish. Congratulations. Great to earn that medal. George Sevick. George was awesome this weekend. Let me tell you what George did. George took one for the team. George got his Team Ordinary gear packet in the mail. Probably arrived on Saturday. And despite the mantra, we all know the mantra, right? Nothing new on race day. And that includes wearing shirts, brand new shirts. Definitely includes that. You got to wear those suckers out. Depending on your body type, wherever shirts can rest differently on your body, and they can cause chafing in certain areas. I won't name them, but I wear Band-Aids to avoid most of those. And you're going to go out there and run a half marathon. You got to be sure. But George would not be stopped. We all begged him. We pleaded, George, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth the chafing. And he did it. And he survived, and he crushed the Prairie Fire Half Marathon, Wichita, Kansas. When historians look back at this moment, and they say, hey, who was the very first person to adorn a Team Ordinary shirt at a race? Well, that's the answer, folks. George Sevick. Good old George Sevick. He went out and did it, and congratulations, George. First person ever to wear a Team Ordinary shirt at a race. I'm telling you, man, that's going to be important. We're up to 52, 53 people. I got to tell you, the best part about it is I'm starting to see some names come in with registration, like people that I'm not familiar with. And it's so great to see because I can't wait to meet you, and I can't wait to hear your stories, and I can't wait to read them and post them to the site. I can't wait to see you guys out there racing in your Team Ordinary stuff. Despite the fact that George ruined it for everybody, no one else can be first. George is first. What an amazing thing this is becoming. It's really. I'm feeling really good about it. Just really good about it. Staten Island half, Mary Kelly. She was out there racing the Staten Island half. Mary, I tried to wish you good luck on our Facebook page. I don't know if you're on Facebook, but I couldn't tag you. So I'm assuming you're not there. But hey, I'm going to talk about you on the podcast if you don't mind. I know you got it done. I did check up on you for the at the race results. So I do know you finished. I do know you earned your medal. Congratulations. Way to get after it out there in Staten Island. Georgios Zavolis. Again, the busiest man in sports, just destroying the Staten Island half, set a PR somewhere a little north of an hour and a half. I don't even think you get your money's worth at that point. I mean, just a blur out there. If you saw a blur in Staten Island on Sunday, it was Georgios Zavolis. Congratulations, Georgios. Great job out there. The big one, of course, Chicago Marathon. We had 4 racers. Nick Doe out there sporting his Ordinary Marathoner sneaker charm. Congratulations, Nick. Way to get it done on Sunday. Mary O'Connell. Mary was the one who fell a couple weeks ago and hurt her rib. She said around mile 18 it was starting to hurt. And she sucked it up, and she PR'd by 20 minutes. 20-minute PR with a busted rib. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Danielle Rosevalley, your husband Mike, out there racing too. They both finished. Congratulations, both of you guys. Marvin Fitzgerald, this was a little bit of a redemption race for you. I know he was disappointed last year. Coming back this year for a little bit of redemption. And I tell you, I was tracking you, Marvin, and you ran that first 5K, and I was like, dude, hit the brakes. Slow down. He was moving, just cooking through Chicago. I don't know if it was a PR for you, but man, impressive time. I think he was sub 4.5. I'm pretty sure he was sub 4.5. And you got after it. You got your redemption. I'm so proud of you, man. You did a great job. And what a great weekend for Team Ordinary out there. And it's so amazing to watch you guys all give our runners like really great support out there. And I can't say enough. This is just coming together way better than I ever thought it would. And hopefully we keep that momentum going, keep it rolling, keep it going. So I talked about, I kind of have like, I want to say 3 stories, and all of them kind of on the forefront. If you read the headline, it probably sounds negative, but I think that at least 2 of them we can spin positively. Let's just go with it. The first one I'm definitely going to spin positively. And it's kind of like the news is that unfortunately I'm not going to be running Marine Corps Marathon this year. I'm registered. I'm past the date of transfer. I'm past the date of deferral. It's just not going to happen. Now, the story's a little personal as to why. I don't know if you're going to get it. You might even say, hey, he's just making an excuse not to run. If you want to say that, that's fine. I get judgment. I judge everybody. You shouldn't judge. Everyone judges everybody. I hate when people say, oh, you shouldn't judge. Everyone judges. That's why we're human. That's what we do. You know? I don't know. Do you judge me by the fact that this is my second coffee today? It's been a crazy day, guys. I deserve 2 coffees. And the second one, you shouldn't even drink when you do a podcast. That's like a no-no. Don't drink and podcast. But I'm doing it anyway. I don't care. But anyway, I'm not going to be running Marine Corps Marathon. So I think I do owe you this story as much as it is personal. And anyway, I'll just tell it, and you guys can judge for yourself. Anyway, so sometimes when you make plans and it's far away, everything looks good. Everything fits nicely. And then when you get closer, the logistics of it and the realities of them, they kind of like, they don't feel right. They don't feel good. Now, Samantha, I have 2 daughters. My daughter Ellie is 10 months old. She's almost 11 months. My daughter Sam is 10 years old. I split custody of Sam 50-50 with her mother. Our arrangement is about as cordial and nice as it can be. We both support one another. We transfer Samantha hassle-free. We pick her up if we need to. If one of us needs help, we're always there. It is a good situation, about as good as you can get for a divorced family. We only live a mile or 2 apart, so it's not far. It's not like we have to drive very far to kind of switch houses. Sam has a room there, has a room here. You know, it's as good as it gets for a divorced family splitting custody. It's really as good as it gets. That's all I can really say. That being said, I always know as the parent, and I was going to say dad, but really it applies to mothers too. I know as a parent in a split custody situation that anything I sign up for in advance, that's months or a year or whatever away, anything I do, even an Ironman, and those race fees are a lot, I know that there's a chance something may happen that changes the plans. Something may happen, and sometimes it's just blatant, like, one of us can't be there, or whatever it is, or there's an important event comes up, like a recital or an cheerleading exhibition this weekend. But whatever it is, something may happen to ruin the plan that you set from, and I say ruin, but it doesn't really ruin it, right? I mean, if you have a dance recital for your daughter, you gotta go to that. As much as it's kind of like a little bit of a hassle, you gotta go to that, and in the end, that's the right thing to do. So here's the situation with Sam. About a year ago, we made plans next week to go to a business convention in San Diego. Stephanie has it for work. She's going. And I'm like, free hotel room, San Diego, 4 days. How do I not go? So I'm going too. Steph's mom is watching Ellie. and it's all good. We got a little 3 or 4 day vacation there in San Diego, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, then we signed up for Marine Corps Marathon. We both got into the lottery. That was, unfortunately, we had Sam that weekend in the schedule, but we were able to kind of, like I said, I have a cordial relationship with Sam's mom. We made arrangements so that she would watch Sam that weekend, which we do often. That can happen. And everything was fine. 2 weeks ago, we went to New York City for 4 days. Steph got tickets to Comic-Con from her boss, went with her boss's wife to Comic-Con for 4 days. She didn't want to be without Ellie for 4 days, so I went with her, took Ellie, and I kind of walked Ellie through the city for a few days while Stephanie went to Comic-Con. But again, it was a weekend away from home without Sam. Now, after Marine Corps Marathon, we're going to be going to New York City Marathon. I'm coaching an athlete, Joe Bartlett, who's running it. I got to go. And not even I got to go for Joe. I got to go because I want to go. I love going to New York City. I love going to see the marathon. I love supporting everyone. Having Joe run it is just one more reason to go. So we're going to go there. And I don't have Sam that weekend. So now just to kind of throw that out there, that's 5 weekends in a row. We're going to be going away 4 of them without Sam. And 3 of those weekends we're going to be with Ellie. It's just not a good situation. It's not good optics. And whether Sam says, "Oh, that's fine. Oh, yeah, I understand." When we're away, she misses it. She feels like she's left out. And that's only natural. And she doesn't communicate this to me. It's just that as a dad, I see this and that's what I feel. When I call her, she's like, "Oh, you're in New York. Oh, that's the way I feel." So we made arrangements to take her to DC with us. And the problem is obviously then the logistics of who's going to watch her while we're racing, all that stuff. Now my dad's down there. He was going to be watching Ellie. I got to be honest, I was a little nervous about that. He's 74 years old. He's got all his faculties. He's legit. I wasn't too worried about him taking care of a 1-year-old, almost 1-year-old, but it's a lot of work, and I couldn't. I mean, the guy hasn't changed a diaper in like 35 years, and I don't know. Ellie's at the age he rolls around. I can't picture him changing it. It's very difficult. And then to throw Sam into the mix and even that, I got to be honest, even throwing Sam into the mix is probably a positive thing. Sam's 10. She's been watching us deal with Ellie. She could totally help out. She would be a big help. It's almost better that she was there. And that's why when I made this decision not to run, it's not about the logistics of who's watching who and who's doing that. What it's about is going away for a weekend and spending time with my daughter in a new place, is feeling like vacation, walking around, supporting everyone during the race. Going out, we're going to be probably going to be making signs. We'll be wearing our Ordinary Marathoner shirts, our Team Ordinary shirts. We're going to be out there cheering you guys on. And when I thought about it, racing Marine Corps with my wife and finishing, we did that in 2015 and it was a great experience. It was it was awesome for our relationship. We were still kind of new and it was just a really good experience for us and it would be awesome to relive that. But, especially after the way Lake Placid unfolded, my daughter was up there to watch that and to cheer me on from 5 a.m. until midnight. She was out there and it was a very emotional day for her. And for me to kind of experience it with her, cheering on Stephanie, it'll be a different dynamic, but really one that is so worthy as a father of partaking in. So I won't be running the race. I can't defer. I can't transfer. But I will be spending an amazing day with my daughter in a brand new city, a place where I can show her all the different sites. We can smell the corruption together and really just have a great time. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. And it's a tough decision to make. But in reality, when I kind of sat back, you know what? It's really not. It's really not. So you can judge if you like, and you can say, to be honest, my training hasn't gone super well for this thing. I haven't been focused. I think one of the reasons why is because I knew I wasn't going for a PR. I was a little selfish. And I think what I kind of needed and what I was really looking forward to was the off season and just setting up some goals and setting up a few other things for myself, kind of coaching myself. And I'm looking forward to that. And as a matter of fact, this is like a nice spot for me to just draw a line with training and say, look, we're kind of heading into the off season here. Let's start getting some baseline testing done. It's something that I've avoided for the last few weeks because I had this race, and let's start. I'd start treating myself as if I'm coaching myself, if that makes sense. That's it. And I think for me, it's a nice way to kind of say, hey, all right, training hasn't been going great for me the last couple of weeks. Let's draw that line, and let's just start fresh, head into this off season, and challenge myself that way. And it's going to be positive for me. That's a positive development. All in all, a lot of good things about this, even though it sounds like bad news. It's really not. Item number 2 was, I was talking about poor training. We had a bad training week. I had planned to do a long run on Sunday, and Samantha had a cheer exhibition on Saturday. So I kind of, and I didn't know about that. I didn't know how long it would take during the day. She had to leave at like 7 a.m. And then I had to go at like noon and sit there. You know, you watch your kid perform for 3 minutes, but you're sitting there for 4 hours. So it's a rough one as a parent. I mean, it is so great to see her out there and performing and doing stuff, but these events are hard. They're difficult for parents. I don't know how we do it, guys. It's hard. They are hard. Your gymnastics parents, I give it to you. I don't understand. I think I don't know. I'd chop my head off. Anyway, Sunday came, and yesterday Stephanie had a kidney stone. Now, for those of you not familiar with kidney stones, and I wasn't, she's had like 2 or 3 of them since I met her. They are painful. And that's just me observing pain. And I've observed this woman go through pain before. This is 3rd kidney stone, and I've seen her give birth to my daughter. I think that she would prefer giving 63 hours of labor too, mind you. I think she would prefer giving birth over a kidney stone, and I really, really mean that. So we had to go to the ER yesterday. Spent a few hours there. While you guys were crushing your races, we were in the ER. So Stephanie now, her training has dropped off the last couple of weeks. And then yesterday she missed an important day. And now she's probably going to miss today too, because she's still, she's on medication for the pain, hopefully working things out. It was tough. I mean, she wasn't running yesterday. That's not happening with the kidney stone. Just not happening. So, I mean, throw that into the mix as sort of like that's kind of like that. There's no sugarcoating a kidney stone, guys. That's just bad news. That is just bad news. The third item that I mentioned, and I kind of mentioned this Friday, and the problem was I dropped my external hard drive on the ground. And then when I tried to plug it into the computer, it wasn't reading the data. It was showing up as blank, nothing. So I brought it to the Geek Squad, and I told you guys this last week, and I said, I might lose hopefully I won't lose the data. I got to tell you, my concern level, on a scale of 1 to 10, my concern that I was actually going to lose this data was probably like a 2. Like, I knew it wasn't totally out of the question that I might lose it, but I've dropped laptops before. I've had laptops break on me, and I just bring it to the geeks, and the geeks get the data. They hand me a hard drive. Here you go. Here's everything that you had on your computer. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Geek. And I'll come home. Everything's good. I was not concerned. If they make computers, laptops that can withstand a drop and a fall, that the laptop breaks, but the hard drive is fine, how come they can't make these little stupid things the same way? I don't even want to touch this new one, which is actually an old one, but I don't want to touch it because I'm afraid. I don't want to lose any more data. So they give me the call Friday afternoon after I did the podcast. Obviously, the bad news, the data is gone. It's gone. It's untouchable. They said if I wanted, I could send it to like a place in Texas. It would cost me over $1,000 to recover the data. They would probably get it. But I don't know, and what's on this hard drive? All of our logos, our logo files, some business files, all of the athletes that I was coaching, I had spreadsheets, detailed spreadsheets on all the things that they were doing, and all the kind of like my plans for the future for them. we had all of the audio podcasts, all of the video podcasts. I was working on videos, separate videos that are now all gone. I had my swimming video that I never released that I was thinking about releasing. I didn't do it. Gone. I recorded a video with Heather Samuelson talking about sort of like a pre-run workout that we were going to do. We might even do a series of these. And I got to be honest, that one was a little rough. The filming was not good. We got to work on that anyway. So I'm kind of glad in a way. I'm glad that it didn't work out because I think we can do it better. Anyway, a lot of the things I just mentioned are recoverable. I in the past, I've always thought about writing a book, like an ordinary marathoner book. And I've tried. I've started twice. And I've written probably 10,000 words both times. Those files are gone. Now, I haven't been actively working on those, but they were there and now they're gone. And it's kind of like, it's upsetting. It's upsetting that hours and hours, really for 3 years, all of that work, and granted, I know I should have backed it up. I know it. You don't have to dig me on that one. I know it. It was stupid. And every month probably I looked at that thing and said to myself, I should back this up. Never did. And I don't know why I didn't. But it reminds me of that movie With Honors. Do you remember that movie when, was it Brendan Fraser lost his thesis and Joe Pesci that was a bum and he found it? That's the feeling that I got. And I got to tell you, when he told me initially that this file was gone, that all my files were gone, my first thought was, I'm cooked. I'm done. It was too much work. I put too much work in it. And honestly, if it wasn't for Team Ordinary doing so well these past 2 weeks or week and a half, I probably would have given up on the podcast and perhaps even the Facebook group and page. I was that upset over losing all that data. And I sat in that and just stewed in that kind of like angry, stupid me, like what am I doing here? Kind of gloom, if you will. I did that for 2 days and then I started coming around. I think kind of like the competitiveness comes out in me a little bit. I don't know if I can recover certain things, the intro for the podcast and the video. I don't know, the outro, all that stuff. I got to tell you, 90% of this stuff that I lost is recoverable somewhere. The podcasts are recoverable at my data host. I just have to re-download them, which is annoying. I don't want to do it, but I might have to do it. The videos are all recoverable off of YouTube. Again, I don't even really know how to do it, but they're there. Worst case scenario, I could just record the screen, which you can do, screen capture. I just don't know. So this morning, I just decided, you know what? I decided all weekend I was back lamenting, to recover all this stuff is going to take so much work, so much time. It took me 3 years to do these files. And then I started thinking when you start doing stuff and you're kind of just doing it on the fly, you create things and they're all out of order and everything's a mess and everything you kind of know where things are because you're the one that put them there. But every once in a while you're like, man, I should really have a different system here. I should really just recreate this whole thing, but I don't have time. I don't want to reorganize everything. And then I thought, man, this is the perfect opportunity to just start things over. And I thought about it. I was thinking about it even more and even more. And it's just like in running, when you have a bad few weeks, which I've had recently, and you're going through a rut and you can't find that routine and you can't get to the gym and you're fearing that your speed you're losing your speed and you're losing your strength, you're losing your endurance, and you are, and you're going to have to build it back, and you don't, you get angry that now, all right, so now I'm going to spend the next 3 weeks building back the endurance that I lost from the last week because I was too lazy or I didn't hold my routine. It's the same feeling. I got to rebuild this thing. I got to rebuild my file network. And it's most of the stuff is there. I just have to recover it. And I started the task this morning, going after it, recovering my logo files, which I got all my logo files back. Some of them were in email. Some of them were online at services that helped me develop the logos. And this logo, we got logos, guys. We got tons of ordinary marathoner logos, ordinary marathon logos, team ordinary logos. It's just, Milecast Media is our parent company that we were going to start something in the beginning, but that's kind of like our parent company. I have a lot of plans for the Team Ordinary. I have by the way, if you guys sent me a picture for your profile, all those pictures are gone. And again, they exist. They're on the webpage. I uploaded all of them. It's not like I dilly-dallied. I uploaded all of them. They're just now, in order to retrieve them back into the file system, I have to go through one by one and save, which one day I probably will do, just not today. It's just a long-term project. And it's going to take a while, but you know what? In the end, when I clean it all up, the file system is going to be nice and neat. It's going to be organized in a way that I know where everything is. And the thing is, sometimes, you use things, right? All my coaching stuff is gone. All my coaching certificates and all that stuff. And again, they exist. I just got to go get them. It's frustrating. It's annoying. But I'm going to look at it as a good thing. And I got to tell you, one of the things that I thought of is that I have these spreadsheets for my athletes that I coach. And you know what? I'm a good spreadsheet guy. These spreadsheets are intricate and not easy to look at. I almost think it would be better just to have a notebook. And I think that's what I'm going to do going forward. You ever just think that? Am I too old where I think, hey, you know what would be really good here? Well, you know what's a great idea to do with these files? Write them in a notebook. It seems like sort of a reverse way of thinking about it in this technological age, but write them in a notebook. I wouldn't have lost it. It'd be right here. I'd have it. I got to tell you, that's another thing. I lost all my workout data from 3 years, really 5 years. All my workout data, all my workouts that I've done, my runs, the distance, the paces, all that stuff is gone. But again, we're starting fresh. And geez, what kind of a great line to draw right now for me. Start fresh with my training. I mean, when I started this thing, I couldn't run a quarter mile. And now, one of the things I've been thinking lately too is, I watch Kona. And look, I'm not under any illusion that I'm going to be competing in Kona anytime soon. I'm 45 years old. That ship has sailed. It never existed anyway. But I feel like there's another level for me. There's another step up somewhere, and like a big step to go from back of the packer, always slow, to become a competitive athlete, as competitive as I can be. I've been missing that lately. I'm nowhere near to my PRs right now for a marathon, for a half marathon. If I ran today, I'd be nowhere near my PR. And I kind of I want to, in my heart, I kind of want to try to be faster. I just want to be faster. And I think that's kind of, and some people have that innate sense of competitiveness, and that's what you're like, oh, of course you want to be faster. That's what you do. But I think my goals have always been to do the next race, to finish that next race, to finish your first half marathon, to finish your first marathon, to finish your first Ironman, to do all, whatever, to redeem myself from a DNF at Ironman. That's always been my goal. It's been but it's never been time specific or speed specific. And I think that if I can embrace that as a goal, self-improvement, working hard, working smart to improve my speed, to really focus on myself as an athlete and improving myself as an athlete, as opposed to achieving certain specific goal races and stuff like that. That's a transition for me that I'd like to make. And that's what, I think that now more than ever, not having to back out of MCM, losing all of my data files, starting fresh as a coach and coaching myself from that aspect. That's a great opportunity for me. And that's what I've decided. That's the way I've decided to look at this. It's not the end of the world. I've lost these files. I've lost a lot of work, a lot of hard work, guys. But it's not a loss. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to start fresh, to start new, to start with a new file of all my workouts. And I'm almost seeing it as like a little sign, it's a little bit of a sign that here it is. I lost all this data. I'm starting fresh. I'm not doing this marathon. So now I get to go into my off season and start fresh. And we've started this awesome team, awesome who've accomplished so much this past weekend. It's a sign. I don't believe in fate at all, but it sounds pretty good, guys. It sounds pretty good, and there's a lot of work to be done here, and I'm having fun doing it. So we're going to keep this going. So listen, I've had a couple discussions with some people over the weekend. People reached out to me for business reasons, for just excited about Team Ordinary. It's just insane. For coaching, people are reaching out to me for coaching. If you're interested, please reach out to me. And we're getting this whole thing moving, guys. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be an amazing thing. I'm motivated, inspired. I mean, you guys out there running Chicago and Giorgio's and everyone out there, George, Sevic, making history, and all you guys out there, you're inspirational. And you're the reason that's keeping me going and starting fresh, really, in many ways. So with that being said, if you're one of those people now that are on that fence, and you know what, for some reason, this is that time, right around this time, people tapering, people dealing with little injuries, people, maybe watching and saying, geez, I'd love to run a marathon. Now's the time to kind of draw those lines, to look at yourself, to analyze and be like, where do I want to go with myself? What do I want to do? How do I want to be a part of this? I think that's awesome. You always got to do that from time to time. Just do a little self-check, evaluate what's going on, where you're headed, what you're doing, and what better time than the present to do something like that. That reminds me of my New Year's Eve special. Can't wait for that one too. We're going to have a good one this year too. Anyway, congratulations all you guys who finished next week. Looking forward to next week. Hopefully maybe we'll have a guest this week. I don't know. I don't really have one planned, but we're going to look into that. And remember, every day is an ordinary day unless you make it extraordinary. So get after it, guys.